Hey guys, how's it going? Alex here with Big Money Theory. I hope you're doing well. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. Today I have a slightly different video for you. I would like to do a video where I show what stocks I picked up and when I called them, and how they performed since I called them out. So this video is kind of my way to show you how well perform the stocks that I've choose, and maybe if you decide you want to follow me, you can see what kind of returns you can expect. But before we dive in, I would ask you to leave a like, drop a comment, maybe consider subscribing. This will help the channel a lot, and I would be able to share my knowledge with more people. There's also a link down in the description to the Patreon, so if you feel like you want to support the channel directly, consider subscribing. You'll get access to all the trades I do throughout the day, when I buy and sell the stocks or when I do call options. You'll also get access to Discord, where I show in real time what I do with the stocks. And now let's jump into the stocks I called out. So when you look on the screen, you'll see on the left side there's Excel table. First column will be the date when the stock was called out. Second column will be the ticker. And the third column, how that stock performed since it was called out. On the main page, I will pull up the trend of the stock with the name of the stock, and I'll say a few words about the company. So the first company was called out on January 19th. It's a company called Nano Dimension, ticker NNDM. These guys create machines that create circuit boards. So we need circuit boards for all the electronics we currently use. So your iPhones, laptops, your computers, your electrical vehicles, your laboratories, all that equipment uses circuit boards. So this company creates a new machine that pretty much replaces an entire factory. And it's just like one single box that can print your custom circuit board, and off you go. So those guys went up 36% since the time I mentioned them. So the second company I'm going to be talking about is Bargain Technology Acquisition Corp, ticker BTAQ. Those guys were rumored to merge with Re Auto, but the deal didn't go through. Well, at least we don't have any news about it at the moment. So this stock went down 3% since it was called out. Next company is American Resources Corp, ticker AREC. Those guys were called out on January 21st. And they went up 129%. So these guys mine and extract metals that are necessary for lithium-ion batteries. And because we're entering EV and clean energy era, we're going to be using a lot of batteries. So we would need to get those metals from somewhere. And this is a domestic company for the United States, and they are performing very well right now. Next company is Packer Inc., ticker PCAR. Those guys are actually down 2% since when they called on January 22nd. This is a big company that builds semi-trucks that sold worldwide. They built Kenworth, Peterbilt, DAF semi-trucks. So for the big news for these guys, they decided to jump into autonomous vehicles, and they already have 2 models that they expect to launch within the next few years, and they have some really promising results. But those guys had a bumpy ride this past month. But if you look at the past year, they kind of been on a steady growth, 93% of the past year. So the next company is FTAC Olympus Acquisition Corp, ticker FTOC. Those guys were called out January 23rd, and they are up 4.5%. Those guys were rumored to merge with Pioneer. It's a payment platform. Some people say that one day it can become as big as PayPal. We'll see about it. They don't really have any big news yet, so you can see that the past month they were trading kind of sideways. Next company that was called out is called EXP World Holdings Inc., ticker EXPI. So those guys are 14% up since I mentioned them on my channel. This is a real estate company. This is a real estate brokerage company. So they are pretty much cloud-based real estate brokerage. And, if you're just a real estate agent and in this new era, you don't want to sit in the office, you can just join those guys and you can do, like, you have kind of virtual office sort of thing. And the reason they up so much, they went up 1,500% for the past year, is because of the incentives they give to the realtors. So if you a part of their program and you bring your friend who's a realtor as well, you're going to get a certain amount of dollars. I think it's $400 if you bring somebody, and if that person closes a deal, it's another $200, something like that. But the big thing for this company is they have such incentive for their realtors is part of the salary of the realtor can be paid in stocks, which is very big. So they say approximately 25 to 30% of their realtors actually participate in that program. So every time it's time to pay salary, well, not salary, but your bonus to the realtors, part of that is paid out in the stocks. So that's pretty much, the stocks are constantly pushed up and up and up. I actually think this company has a really bright future, at least for now, because they are growing crazy. So, and because these guys are paying part of the salary in stocks, the stocks are just constantly pushed up. Pretty much, even if nobody is buying those stocks, they will be pushed up just because they have stocks being traded inside the company, kind of thing. Next company I called out was T2 Biosystems. Unfortunately, I kind of called it out on January 26th, then it was at the peak, and we had that crazy week last week, then everybody was selling off. So those guys went down, and now they are only 10% up since I called them out. This company is very promising. They have a panel that can check for the sepsis causing bacteria, but that panel also can detect well-known virus, and that's very big. And they also have some great news that their panel can actually detect the new version of the virus that's coming out from Brazil. So just looking at the 1 month chart, they were hitting the new highs on January 26th, and they dipped down. So if you kind of make the trend line, I can see that this guy is going to go up easily another 20-30% within a week. So I'd be keeping an eye on these guys. They have some great news. Next company was called out was HCMC. They were called out on January 31st. You can see there. So these guys went up 96% since I called them out. But since then, they were kind of trading sideways. And a lot of people, hoping to get some great news from them. So these guys, they have their healthy food markets. Plus, they have their vape division. So what's big news about them is they actually have a lawsuit, and they're suing Philip Morris. Philip Morris is a huge company that's well known for, let's say, Marlboro cigarettes. And Philip Morris have a vape machine, whatever you call it, like vape stick, that actually infringes the patents that belongs to HCMC. So those guys went up crazy, 100% within a day, just on the news that there is a lawsuit against Philip Morris, and if they win the lawsuit against Philip Morris, this guy's going to blow up, because they have a very small market cap. It's only $167 million. Philip Morris spent more than $3 billion on that vaping stick they sell. So if HCMC wins the lawsuit, they can possibly tap into that $3 billion spending. So they can win a few $100 million. That means their market cap is going to increase significantly. And if that happens, their price for the stock is going to go up. They're going to shoot up crazy. Next stock called out on February 1st was ABML, American Battery Metals Corp. This company is kind of similar to AREC, American Resources Corp. Yes. So whatever is happening to American Resources Corp, they went up past month 200%, I think can possibly happen to ABML. So you can see that these guys went up 400% already. They kind of trading sideways right now, but I think that's not going to be for too long. I think they're going to shoot up much higher next week. So the next ticket I called out was Tesoro Enterprises Inc. I called it out actually on February 2nd. Since then, they went up 240%. Tesoro Enterprises is kind of similar to mutual funds or ETFs, but based on blockchain. They have some great products. They're merging with Humble. So check out my video I made on February 2nd. So the next company I'm going to be talking about is Green Concepts Beverage Company, ticker ENGC. KW, those guys went 111% since I called them out on February 2nd. So these guys sell bottled water. They also have another beverage that is pretty much hemp infused water. They are in a really big market, so they might be performing fairly well. The third company I called out also on February 2nd was Enzalytics Inc., ticker ENZC. Those guys performing really well, and they are up 100% since I called them out. This is a drug company that has some drugs, and they recently got into the news that they found new markers for HIV. So they pretty much build drugs that directly attacks the HIV. And now because they found the new markers, they can produce a better drug. So that's their main story for them. The next company I called out on February 5th is Solar Integrated Roofing Corp. Those guys are up 18% since I called them out. So these guys, if you look at their name, Solar Integrated Roofing Corp. So those guys do solar panels on the roofs of residential and commercial clients. But the big news why they jumped up so high is because they are entering into the building EV charging stations across the United States. And they're also acquiring some installation companies across the United States. So those are the big news. Second company from February 5th is Aurora Solar Technologies Inc., ticker AACTF. So these guys are up 13% since I called them out. Those guys, instead of building EV chargers or solar roofs, they actually provide hardware and software to build your own batteries, so to build your own solar batteries. And again, because we entering so-called EV era, I think a lot of companies will be really, really, really interested in their software and hardware solutions to build better solar batteries. They are on a bumpy ride for the past 6 months, but even though it was a bumpy ride, they're still up 275%. And you can see they went down kind of in past month 30%. That was like big sell-off last week, and now they're going up. So I think they're going to test the new heights. That's one thing. Another thing, this company is just getting picked up by a lot of traders. So as soon as they're going to get more attention from traders, I think they're going to shoot up pretty wildly. And the last company that was called out yesterday on February 5th is Social Life Network. These guys went up 66% within 1 day. This is a sort of startup incubator. So they provide legal assistance, funding, and they do other things for the startup companies. The way they make money is from every startup, they owe 15% of the startup, plus they also get 5% of the revenue of those startups. They currently have 7 startups they helped to grow, and 3 of those startups are actually getting onto the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange. So that means those companies are performing fairly well, and the more clients they're going to have, the more revenue they're going to have. I think they have bright future. I think they're going to go up even higher next week. So the last thing I would like to show you is something fairly interesting. So you can see that some stocks were performing not so great as PCAR and BTAQ. Some stocks went up 129% as ARC, American Resources Corp. So if you would have invested your money into the stocks I called out starting January 19th, and you would buy every stock I mentioned in equal amounts, by today, which is February 6th, you would make on average 55.9%. So again, if you invested in all the companies I mentioned on my channel, within 3 weeks you would have 55% return of investment, which I think is pretty good. So that kind of gives you an idea how well or bad the stocks I mentioned perform. So maybe they'll help you get some sort of reassurance on your decision to follow my channel. And this is it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you like this video. I plan on doing this video every week. So every Saturday I'm gonna be pulling up the charts and showing the stocks I picked up throughout the week and see how they performed. And once a month, at the end of the month, I will be again pulling up the chart and showing you how the stocks performed for the past month. So if you like what you heard, please leave a like, drop a comment, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. I would really appreciate that, and that will help to grow the channel, and I would be able to share my knowledge with more people. If you feel like you want to support the channel directly, there's a link in the description to the Patreon where I post daily what I buy and sell throughout the day, or if I do any call options. And you will also get access to the Discord channel. It's currently under construction, but eventually I will be posting there in real time what I buy, sell, and you can just follow my steps and hopefully make some extra money. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Have a great weekend, and see you Sunday. Tomorrow I will be posting another video, probably with top 3 penny stocks that I see great potential for the coming week, and can't wait to see you tomorrow. Have a great weekend.